All right, everybody, welcome back to round number 2 of this day 3 action in the casting Colosseum. We just saw an exciting match between Speed Limit and Jocko Ren, where Speed Limit was able to take that victory and redeeming himself from Sunday. And our next matchup is exciting as well. We have TripleZed versus Nemelex. And let's take a look at TripleZed. He hails from North Carolina, USA. He is 30 years old. He enjoys playing decks that make people rage. And he's been playing TCGs for a little over 16 years. Fun fact for TripleZed is he's anti-fun and is best buddies with Zared Venom Scorn. Interesting. Let's take a look at the deck that TripleZed is piloting tonight. He's playing Combo Colossus. Troops in this deck are 2 Charge Colossus, 4 Arborean Rootfathers, 3 Balthazars, 4 Angel of Dawns, 4 Crocosaurs, 4 Eternal Sages, 2 Succulent Cluckadons, 3 Puck the Dreamriggers, and rounding out his troops are 2 Howling Braves. Actions in his deck, playing 4 Chlorophilia, 2 Pride's Fall, and 3 Shard Calls. Rounding out his resource pool, he's playing 2 Shards of Savagery and 4 Shards of Life. His champion is Rutherford Banks with a starting health pool of 23, requires a double diamond threshold, and pay 7. You can put target troop from your crypt into play.
A lot of control players here in this series, although this deck is not exactly control. The Combo Colossus is most famously piloted by Sadolution in the 12th IQ to the final invitational slot. The deck focuses on actually ramping up, and ramp is an interesting combination of things. Some people think it's its very own category of deck type. You have aggro, control, and then tempo. Ramp kind of floats between these 3 points. This deck, its strategy is to survive long enough to get out one of its major threats, whether that is an Angel of Dawn or an Arborean Rootfather. And then once they stay on the board, letting them stick. Arborean Rootfather will have the Spell Shield gem in it, and anything that dies will be brought back with Rutherford Banks' champion power. So it's all about getting to that late game and then using major threats to push through for the victory. One final note as far as strategy is concerned, there is a lot of health gain in the deck. It's its major counter against aggro. So any deck that tries to rush down a Combo Colossus deck will have to do so very quickly because every other troop gains health. Succulent Cluckadon gains health, Balthazar gains health, and the Arborean Rootfather will often have a life drain gem slotted in there as well. So many, many ways to sustain.
His opponent is going to be Nemelex. He hails from Monument, Colorado, USA. He enjoys playing mid-range control. Interesting facts for Nemelex. He actually has a webcomic that he updates daily, so you can check that out as well. He draws arts for the forums, and his favorite race is the Necrotic. Let's take a look at the deck Nemelex is piloting tonight. It is a mono diamond deck. Troops in this deck include 4 copies of Daru's Colossal Walker, 4 Hopeheart Unicorns, 3 Spearcliff Cloud Knights, 4 Deathless Guardians, 3 Living Totems, and 4 Valiant Escorts. The other actions and constants in his deck, he's playing 3 Solitary Exile, 3 Blinding Lights, 3 Pride's Fall, 3 Repels, and 2 Noble Hearts. Rounding out his resource pool, he's playing 2 Starsphere. He's playing the champion Dimon with a starting health pool of 19 and double diamond threshold. He can pay 2 and target troop gets life drain this turn.
Fun fact, Nemelex is actually I Am Drawer. He has a title, I Am Drawer, on the forums. So we have a celebrity player here today. This deck is also somewhat famous. Mono Diamond. It didn't win any IQs, but it made a little bit of a splash early on during the IQ series before it was pushed out by some more control-y deck types like Winter Moon. Perhaps we will see it make an impact here this evening. One thing of note, strategy-wise, if we were to break it down, what Nemelex is going to want to do with this deck is play his troops, very efficient troops, and then back up, much like a Mono Blood matchup, back up those efficient troops with point removal, whether it's a Pride's Fall or a Solitary Exile or Repel. You have 1 Spearcliff Cloud Knight on the board. If that's not answered, your opponent will lose. Similarly, a Living Totem can just be endlessly buffed up as long as it can stick. One other thing of note, he has a Noble Heart as one of his actions. 5 threshold, but only 1 resource to play. So as soon as he has those 5 threshold, he will be able to give target troop invincible. So it will stay on the board until victory.
And here we go, the inaugural matchup for TripleZed and Nemelex in game number 2 of the Casting Colosseum. It looks like Nemelex will be able to play first. Let's take a look at opening hands for both players. Nemelex sitting at quad diamonds, a Star Sphere, a Repel, and a Hope Heart Unicorn. On the opposite side for TripleZed, a Diamond Shard, Chlorophylla, Double Angels, Crocosar, and Double Eternal Sage. It looks like Nemelex has mulligan down to 6. His hand now is a Diamond Shard, Star Sphere, that Noble Heart, Double Solitary Exile, and Living Totem. It looks like TripleZed trying to decide what he wants to do. He is going to mulligan. He will go to 6 cards. His resource or his opening hand is a Diamond Shard, Shard of Life, Shard of Savagery, Charge Colossus, Arborean Rootfather, and Puck.
I like that mulligan. Anytime you have 2 of your angels in your hand is a sad day, because Angel's ability is so critical, in fact, is that when it's the first card that is drawn, it gets put into play without having to cast it. So you can get a turn 2 Angel for free. Very impactful if it happens.
Nemelex will play a diamond and pass a turn. Both players saying good luck and have fun to each other. Shard of Life is going to be the play. Going to choose between Wild and Diamond Threshold. We'll go for the Wild Threshold and pass a turn back over to Nemelex.
Nemelex being a little bit cheeky over there. I don't know if you caught that, but he said good luck, have fun, as in have fun losing.
Diamond Shard is the draw for Nemelex. He'll play, looks like, a Living Totem. It's a Living Totem on the board, sitting with Double Solitary Exile, Noble Heart, and a Diamond Shard in hand. Will pass the turn back over to TripleZed, who draws a Shard of Savagery.
And Nemelex is known a bit of a joker. He does many just fantastic little bits of art. If you have a chance to catch him on the forums, you should go and say hi. We will see how that translates to his board play, however. He is going to need to be incredibly focused and on point if he wants to take out this combo Colossus deck.
Diamond Shard is played for TripleZed. He will play a Chlorophylla, which will play a Wild Shard from his deck. Is now at double wild, single diamond, 1 open resource, and he'll pass a turn over to Nemelex.
Having those 2 solitary exiles is actually great tech for Nemelex that will be able to void target card. Charge Colossus, if voided, you can't do the Rutherford Banks Charge Colossus combo, which basically can infinitely recycle the troop for refreshing its charges every time.
Hope Heart Unicorn is the draw for Nemelex. He'll swing in with Living Totem, bring TripleZed down to 21. Turn passes back over to TripleZed. Looks like he's trying to decide if he wants to play Puck here. He hasn't played a resource yet. He's going to play Shard of Savagery. We'll be able to choose from Ruby and Wild Threshold. We'll choose the Wild. Now it's at triple Wild Threshold. And Puck, the Dreambringer, will join the field for TripleZed. And that'll be the end of his turn, and it'll pass back over to Nemelex.
Nemelex basically has to answer Puck the Dreambringer here. Otherwise, there is a very large chance that something impossible to remove can come down on the board.
Diamond Shard is the draw for Nemelex. Solitary Exile will take care of Puck, and we'll void it. And we'll go into combat phase after that. 2 troops on the board for Nemelex, Hope Heart Unicorn and Living Totem. Going to activate the champion ability to give life drain to the Hope Heart Unicorn. We'll swing for 5 and gain 3 from Hope Heart Unicorn. That'll bring TripleZed down to 16, Nemelex to 22, and he'll pass a turn. Draw for TripleZed is a Succulent Cluckodon.
So one downside to Nemelex playing the Star Sphere is that he is unable to play Noble Heart until he reaches 5 diamond thresholds. So we'll need 2 more diamonds before he can get that off.
Shard of Savagery is played for a Ruby Threshold. Succulent Cluckodon will join the field for TripleZed. He can have it battle an opposing troop.
I believe it can only hit a 1-cost troop, but at the very least, it is a 4/4 body, and he gains 4 health.
Diamond Shard is played for Nemelex, and he's going to Solitary Exile. That'll take care of the Succulent Cluckodon. We're about to see a repeat of last turn.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting. Nemelex being quite aggressive with his plays. I like this line. It allows Nemelex to focus on really what he needs to do, which is get TripleZed down before something big and basically impossible to remove, like the Arborean Rootfather, like the Charge Colossus comes down.
TripleZed is down to 15 health. He's going to play Balthazar. Has an Arborean Rootfather and Charge Colossus in hand. He'll draw a card, gain 2 life. He does have Pride's Fall. That's the draw. And looks like he's just going to pass the turn back over to Nemelex.
I think the flow of this game is going to depend on when TripleZed picks up his 7th shard. 7 shards is enough to play that Arborean Rootfather. Charge Colossus isn't, I think, quite as important as Arborean Rootfather, because Arborean Rootfather will have Spell Shield. There are no global wipes in Nemelex's deck. The only one available in Diamond is Purge, and it's not commonly run either. So once the Arborean Rootfather comes down, it will be down to stay.
Draw for Nemelex is a Drew's Colossal Walker. And we're going into attack phase. Going to swing with both his troops, Living Totem and Hope Heart Unicorn, inbound to TripleZed. He is going to chump block the Hope Heart Unicorn, take 2 damage. That'll take him down to 15.
Drew's Colossal Walker was a great pickup. It'll put just a huge amount of pressure. 8/8 is a lot of a champion's health total. However, fingers crossed on TripleZed's side. Will his draw be the shard?
Drew's Colossal Walker will join the field for Nemelex, and he'll pass the turn. Nemelex can also use his champion ability on the Drews to get that 8 health he needs in order to activate the Drew's Colossal Walker feature. Crocosaur is the draw for TripleZed.
So interestingly enough, the Hope Heart Unicorn is anti-Crocosaur tech. If TripleZed tries to kill anything with the Crocosaur, Nemelex does have the option to sacrifice the Hope Heart Unicorn and keep any troop that would normally be nommed, keep that alive.
So Crocosaur is going to go on to the board. He's going to battle the Living Totem and the Hope Heart Unicorn, and we'll see what Nemelex does here. Is going to activate Hope Heart Unicorn. And the Living Totem will survive. TripleZed sitting with just 1 resource, Crocosaur on board, in hand, Pride's Fall, Charge Colossus, and Arborean Rootfather. And he'll pass the turn.
Nemelex is going to need that shard. He does. He draws the shard.
Get it. He does get the shard, so Noble Heart can be activated. He is going to put his champion power onto the Drew's Colossal Walker, so that's going to do 8 damage and gain 8 health and attack inbound from Drew's Colossal Walker. TripleZed having to decide how he's going to do it. Is he going to take all 8 damage? Looks like he is. That's going to take him down to 7. Nemelex up to 30. And TripleZed in a little bit of trouble. Draw for TripleZed is an Eternal Sage.
So taking the damage is actually really, really scary. TripleZed is gambling. He's gambling on when he finds that critical shard.
He's going to activate Arborean Rootfather. It's going to cycle back in his deck. He draws a Crocosaur. He does have Pride's Fall in hand, but he doesn't know that his opponent has Noble Heart.
This could be a major blowout. If Nemelex gets just a couple more points of damage through, and TripleZed can't put out a big enough troop to stop this aggression, Nemelex could sweep this game away.
Yeah, definitely. So we were waiting for TripleZed to get through his main phase. Again, has Pride's Fall in hand, but his opponent has Noble Heart. He may be thinking to wait until he pays the health to activate Drew's Colossal Walker. Going to attack phase for TripleZed. And I can't see him swinging here. He doesn't.
No, it's so incredibly risky. Yeah, I have to say, Nemelex, for all these jokes around on the forum, his plays have been incredibly to the point, very focused, lots of aggression, exactly what you need in this kind of matchup.
Going to activate Living Totem. That's going to make the Living Totem a 3/3. And he's going to do it again. Oh,
Oh,
no. He's going to use Prideful, and he doesn't have the resources available for Drew's Colossal Walker to be saved by Noble Hearts. And it's going to go into the crypt. Costly play for Nemelex as the turn passes back over to him.
wow, what a break for TripleZed. That's immense.
Spirit Cliff Cloud Knight is the draw for Nemelex, and he's going to use Noble Heart on it, so it will be invincible. But that was a rough beat for Nemelex.
Interesting use of the Noble Heart immediately as opposed to in response to a trick. The Crocosaur that TripleZed can play, but which Nemelex can suspect there might be a Crocosaur, will be able to take out a living totem. So that is slightly risky. On the plus side, you do get to keep a 3/2 flyer with Life Drain and Steadfast, which can block basically anything. So perhaps that's the line that Nemelex had in his head.
Turn passes back over to TripleZed. He will play a Chlorophilia, is at 5 resources. He does have Rutherford Bank's ability, and he's going to activate that to bring back Balthazar. He will draw 5 cards and gain 6 health. He does draw an Angel, but it's not the first card he drew. So it won't be able to go out onto the board for free. He does have quite a few options here. Decides to go with the Crocosaur, so it will be able to battle the living totem in the Spirit.
Playing the Angel for free, while it might be a nice thing to have happen, just simply having the Angel is a major coup, because as a 4/4, it will be able to block a 3/2 pretty much for days. It just no damage.
Shard of Life is played for TripleZed. We'll do it for the Wild Threshold. As he goes into attack phase, we'll pass the turn back over to Nemelex. His draws of Valiant Escort. Nemelex at 33 health, TripleZed at 13. He will swing in. Nothing that TripleZed can do. He will take 3 damage, go to 10. Nemelex will go to 36. Turn will pass back over to TripleZed, who gets a Shard Call on the draw.
Yeah, I can't help but think that momentum is going to shift fairly drastically. Nemelex did have the advantage in the game previously, but now TripleZed has massive card advantage, many more cards in hand, many more threats in hand than Nemelex has answers to deal with.
Eternal Sage would allow him to use the ability with Shard Call for a Sapphire, and he could exhaust the Spirit Cliff Cloud Knight. It looks like that's what he's going to do. He has a Sapphire Shard. He will play it and target that Spirit Cliff Cloud Knight.
It doesn't matter if you are invincible, if you are exhausted.
And we're going to go to attack phase for TripleZed. 6 damage inbound. Going to chip at that huge life total from Nemelex. Will bring him down to 30. Good use of that Shard Call for TripleZed.
Yeah, no, and that's part of the tech that makes this deck so impactful. It's why Satalution was able to pilot a deck like this to a flawless victory. Shard Call plus careful use of the dual shards that we have here in Hex will allow you to find exactly the threshold you need to deal with your opponent's threats.
Valiant Escort is played on Nemelex's side. And he's going to put the Spirit Cliff Cloud Knight back into his hand and back onto the board.
Oh, that's a clever line. I like it.
Taking care of that Eternal Sage ability. Turn passes back over to TripleZed. Draw for him is a Diamond Shard. Sitting at double Diamond, Wild Shard, double Charge Colossus, and Angel of Dawn in hand.
Can't help but feel, though, that is a stopgap measure, to some extent an emergency play. He does have an unexhausted Spirit Cliff Cloud Knight, but TripleZed's board is constantly growing.
Yes. Diamond Shard is played for TripleZed. Going to swing in. This is going to be 11 damage. Nemelex going to have to decide how he wants to block. The Spirit Cliff Cloud Knight does have Invincible.
So he won't die to anything, but he's got to decide whether he wants to remove things off the board or stop the most damage.
Decides to block with the Balthazar. So Balthazar will go to the crypt, but Charge Colossus is going to give TripleZed his champion ability, and we're going to see Balthazar come back onto the board, and 8 cards drawn, 8 health gained for TripleZed.
That was a magnificent bait there from TripleZed, playing around. I think most clever players and their instincts, you want to use the resources you have available, but being able to get extra card advantages, it's compounding the lead TripleZed already has.
Puck the Dreambringer is played for TripleZed. He's going to have to discard 4 cards to get down to 7 before he can pass the turn over to Nemelex. And this game is shifting ever so more into TripleZed's favor. Shard of Life, Diamond Shard, basically all the resources, Wild Shard, 1 more, Diamond Shard, and that will be it. Turn will pass over to Nemelex, sitting with a diamond. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, choosing those shards is not inconsequential because of the Eternal Sage. Being able to use those thresholds to give buffs or gain health wherever appropriate could be fairly impactful.
Drew's Colossal Walker is the play from Nemelex. He will swing in with that Spearcliff Cloud Knight, do 3 damage. More importantly, gain 3 health. That'll put TripleZed down to 19. Nemelex back up to 26. Turn will pass back over to TripleZed. His draw, it's an Arborean Rootfather.
Wow. It's a sustain. The sustain is just so hard to overcome.
So he is going to activate the Eternal Sage ability by playing a Wild Shard, pump up that Crocosar to an 8/9. He could activate Puck to gain some additional resources. He does. So we'll see what his resource pool. He's got 5 cost or more in his hand. So that'll put him up to 15 resources.
And at this point, he can play anything he wants, whether that is a second Chlorophilia to try and buff up another troop into a threatening range, whether that's to toss down a second Charged Colossus. We'll see if he pulls the bait Balthazar trick yet again.
I think Nemelex have probably learned his lesson from last time and will not block the Balthazar.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, his health total is starting to equalize. Only 7 health difference now.
And it seems like TripleZed's not worried about playing the Angels. Definitely content in what his board is now. Going to play that Chlorophilia, so will play a Wild Shard from his deck. He'll be able to pump up another troop thanks to Eternal Sage. And he will target, it looks like he's going to target the Eternal Sage itself. So an 8/9 Crocosar, an 8/8 Charge Colossus, the 8/8 soon-to-be Eternal Sage, and the Balthazar.
I can't help but feel that this is another bait. Killing the Eternal Sage is going to be one of Nemelex's high priorities, but if that happens, he will have to exchange a Druze for it. Being able to cast a Charged Colossus from hand, like TripleZed can do, will return the second the Sage back again. So it's all bad decisions here for Nemelex.
24 damage inbound from TripleZed. 8/9 Crocosar, 8/8 Eternal Sage, 8/8 Charged Colossus. Block the Eternal Sage with the Druze. He's going to take some hits. He's going to go down to 21. Looks like TripleZed contemplating playing the Charged Colossus, and he does. So he's going to gain 8 more charges, activate his champion ability, and here comes the Eternal Sage back again. And we'll play an Angel of Dawn, so that'll take care of the air threat, and the turn will pass back over to Nemelex. Draw for Nemelex is a Diamond Shard, not what he was looking for, and he's just going to toss it. TripleZed takes game 1 in the second match of the Casting Colosseum. Let's go ahead and take a look at reserves for both players. TripleZed has a copy of Cerebral Domination, 2 Scorns of Oberon, 4 Carnosaurs, 2 Soul Marbles, 2 Pride's Falls, 2 Turbulence, and 2 Sapper Charges. What are some options that TripleZed may want to side or reserve in here?
Well, Snake, I like Soul Marble. Whenever you are playing against Diamond, many forms of Diamond or Diamond and Blood, or even Mono Blood, often go for a heavy board control. We saw the boxes, Solitary Exile, coming down multiple times in that last game. Soul Marble will protect critical threats, will be able to keep his big troops alive, and I like Soul Marble. It's probably one of the better options in there. Other things he might consider: Scorn of Oberon. You can box something, but if the box is destroyed, whatever was voided will come back into play. So Scorn of Oberon is another useful sideboard option.
And let's take a look at Nemelex reserves, playing with 2 Golden Avengers, 3 Mistlords, 4 Ethereal Callers, 3 Ethereal Eyes, and 3 Martyrs. What are some options for Nemelex for reserves?
You know, this one's interesting. Ethereal Eyes is a less common card, but I think it is highly impactful in a deck that runs Crypt Renewal like Rutherford Banks. You can return your Massive Thing, but if your Massive Thing has been turned into a 1/1 Phantom, returning it stops becoming all that attractive. So, turn that Charged Colossus into a 1/1 flyer, turn that Eternal Sage into a 1/1 flyer, and it's a neat answer to Rutherford Banks shenanigans.
I also like Martyr here as well. It could be a really good card to surprise TripleZed. We get ready to go into game 2 action. TripleZed versus Nemelex. TripleZed does have a 1-game lead in this matchup. Nemelex will choose to go first. We'll take a look at opening hands for both players. For TripleZed, sitting with a Diamond Shard, Scorn of Oberon, Chlorophylla, Shard Call, Eternal Sage, and Double Puck. Looks like Nemelex has mulligan down to 6. He's going to keep a triple diamond hand, double Drew's Colossal Walker, and a Valiant Escort. TripleZed trying to decide if he wants to keep this hand. He does have Shard Call.
And Shard Call plus the Chlorophylla is enough to play the ever-important Puck Dreambringer, which will get some of those large drops out as soon as possible. We can see the Scorn of Oberon has been sided in.
He is going to keep the hand, so Nemelex will start the game, will play a Diamond Shard, pass over to TripleZed after playing a Valiant Escort.
The more I look at that Scorn of Oberon, the more I like that sideboard tech. It takes care of Drew's Colossal Walker, it takes care of Solitary Exile, and it takes care of putting Invincible on troops. It even takes care of your Living Totems.
Diamond Shard is played for TripleZed. Will Shard Call. And most likely will grab that wild resource so he can play Chlorophylla on his next turn. And I'm pretty sure that Nemelex will probably be a little less aggressive. That first matchup with Noble Heart and again with Balthazar probably taught him a little bit of lessons about this matchup between him and TripleZed. Turn passes back over to Nemelex, draws a Diamond Shard, will play it now at 2 resources. And we go to attack phase.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice to put Invincible on the Spearcliff Cloud Knight. Living Totem is usually a higher priority. Oh, no.
Oh, wow. This is the dream, if there ever was one. Turn to Angel of Dawn. Will cast Chlorophylla, now at 3 resources, double wild, single diamond, and a Angel of Dawn on turn 2 is nothing to scoff at.
This is why Angel of Dawn has been a powerhouse card ever since set 1. It's just, what do you do now?
Draw 4. Nemelex is a Mistlord. Will play a diamond resource, be at 3. 3 resources, triple diamond threshold, and will not attack. Pass the turn back over to TripleZed. His draw is a Wild Shard. We'll go up to 4 resources, triple wild, single diamond. And we get ready for attack phase. Angel of Dawn will swing in for 4.
What's so insidious about this Angel of Dawn is that it does have Steadfast. So not only does it have evasion, but it's also a gigantic body that can just stop any aggression from those Valiant Escorts in its tracks. Nemelex isn't going to want to swing in. You just lose your troop for nothing.
4 damage from Angel of Dawn will take Nemelex down to 15. Puck, the final play for TripleZed as he passes the turn back over to Nemelex. His draw is a second Mistlord, but sitting at 3 resources and 2 Valiant Escorts on the board. Double Drew's Colossal Walker, double Mistlord. Unfortunately, can't play either of those, and he will pass the turn back over to TripleZed. Unfortunate for Nemelex.
Yeah, this is going to be really critical. Nemelex needs a 4th shard. Kept 3 shards in his opening hand, but cannot seem to find another one.
Activation of Puck with 3, 5 or cost or more will bring his TripleZed's resource pool up to 7. He will play Crocosaur and take care of the Valiant Escorts.
Oh, so much card advantage.
Going to activate the Valiant Escort to put the Valiant Escort back into his hand. So he does save 1 Valiant Escort. We're going to go into attack phase. This is an Angel of Dawn for 4. This will take Nemelex down to 11.
I really like that play. It was clever. You know, why lose 1 when you can save one of your guys? That's what makes Valiant Escort, I think, so good in a blood matchup. Often it is used in decks like these to protect against massive forms of removal. You can pull up your winning combination and keep it off the board when an extinction comes down or when a kill comes out. You just keep it calm and hide behind the guy in the cloak.
So just waiting for damage to be resolved. It does. Nemelex will go down to 11. Turn passes back over to Nemelex. His draw is a Diamond Shard, so now he's at 4. Has a couple options here. Does have double Mistlord in hand.
Being able to play things will give Nemelex a couple more turns, but I think it's crucial that he gets blockers that can stop TripleZed's board state, and I'm not sure any of those exist in his deck.
Turn will pass back over to TripleZed. He draws a Chlorophylla. He can activate Puck and gain 2 additional resources with the 2 Eternal Sages in hand. He will do that. So he'll go to 6. Still has an Angel of Dawn and Crocosaur that can swing in, trying to decide his line of play.
Yeah, I think the choice is between Chlorophylla and getting that extra resource, or saving it for when the Eternal Sage is down, and you can use the buff.
He does decide to play Eternal Sage. We go into combat. This is 9 damage, going to block with the Mistlord. He will take 4 and go down to 7. And Nemelex needs to draw an answer. Turn passes back over to Nemelex. His draw is his 3rd copy of Drew's Colossal Walker. Mistlord is the play for Nemelex. Unfortunately, lethal on board for TripleZed. The turn passes back to TripleZed. Shard of Life is the draw. And he will play that. He will be able to gain a Wild or Diamond Threshold. We'll choose Wild. He's going to power up the Angel of Dawn using the Eternal Sage. That's a 7/7 Angel of Dawn. Chlorophylla will also pump up another troop.
That's so brutal.
Nemelex saying GG in chat. He knows it's over. Wild Shard activates Eternal Sage. And this matchup is going to be over. He's going to pump up the Puck, the Dreambringer, to a 5/5. Still has 3 resources in hand. Players are talking about each other's plays. Apparently, Nemelex having issues with his Mistlords, and he just didn't get the resources or the cards he needed to fend off TripleZed's onslaught here.
And whenever you make changes to your deck, you do have to be careful about the overall curve and composition. I feel like sideboarding is part art and part science. You want to make sure you have the cards necessary to answer a wide range of decks, but at the same time, knowing exactly which card to put in can be more difficult than it originally seems. It's one of the reasons why just picking up somebody else's deck can have unfavorable results. You really want to know each and every combination and synergy that your deck provides.
Nemelex asking, can you please kill me now? We go to attack phase. Alpha swing from TripleZed, and this will do it. This matchup is over. TripleZed in his inaugural matchup in the Casting Colosseum will go up. We see a block from the Mistlord. It won't matter, though. Nemelex falls to -10. TripleZed is our winner, taking this matchup 2-0 against Nemelex. And what a great matchup. And I think that this matchup could have been a lot different in game 1, and we could have went into game 3 if Nemelex wasn't playing as aggressive as he was, using that the champ or using the activation ability from the Living Totem and not keeping up enough resources for Noble Heart. And of course, the Balthazar block and allowing him TripleZed to draw a bunch of cards and gain a bunch of health was critical in that first matchup.
It was a calculated risk, and it really didn't pay off for Nemelex, but I can see why he made that line of play. Having seen the deck list that TripleZed is running, we know that there aren't very many removal actions at all. They're just not there. And so the likelihood that he happened to have exactly what he needed to blow Nemelex out of the water was, it must have stung so bad to have that happen. Like, I know when I play, your stomach drops.
So that is it. That matchup is in the books. TripleZed is going up with a win in the Casting Colosseum. We're going to go down to the tournament floor where Alucard is going to speak with our winner, TripleZed, about his first matchup and his first win in the Casting Colosseum. Let's go down to Alucard.
Thanks, Snake and Dino. I'm here now with the winner of this intense matchup, TripleZed. Congratulations on your victory over Nemelex. A very, very great victory. Apparently, green is not set up properly, but okay. So, how are you feeling after that match?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel a little bad about the second game. It was, he just didn't get any shards, and I kept that one shard hand with the shard call and the chlorophylla, so I was able to ramp into stuff, and so I feel good. But the second game wasn't as fun as it could have been.
Well, according to your profile, it sounds like you had just quite as much fun as you wanted. How do you trying to make your opponents rage as much as possible?
Well, that Pride's Fall game 1, I mean, I was just holding it because I didn't see a reason to play it on my turn, and when he went out of resources, I was like, well, might as well now.
Yeah, it was a very timely Pride's Fall. He did actually have the Noble Heart in hand, and so he ran out of resources there to be able to save that there. So it was very clever play on your part to be playing that at the right time there. So what made you decide to play this deck?
Well, I saw Satellution do really, really well with it in that 1 IQ, and it just looked like a fun deck. This deck that kind of completely counters Wintermoon. Oh, you countered my guy. Well, I'm just going to get it back with Banks's charge power. Just it kind of shuts that deck down, and it feels good. Shutting those kind of decks down.
Yeah, but I know Nemelex came out swinging in game 1. He got you pretty low on health there, and you were able to barely recover there.
I was trying to draw that last shard to get the Root Father. I needed that 7th shard. I was like, oh, can't draw it. I was trying to figure out, do I greed and hold the Balthazar? Do I just play it? And I said I had to just play it just to have a block for a turn, have a few extra health. And I think that was the right play.
Absolutely. So finally, we do have this Hextravaganza tournament coming up at the end of the month here on the 28th of February. I imagine you'll be participating. So what do you think you can do to best prepare yourself for this big tournament?
I'll probably go into the tournament playing a more casual deck or something fun, just a little different. Try to get people to hate their life and hate what they're playing.
All right, you heard it here, folks, guys. TripleZed is going to be taking you down, trying to ruin your day. We're going to go ahead and toss it back up to Snake and Dinotropia for our final match of the Casting Coliseum tonight. Thanks again, TripleZed.
Thanks, Alucard. Great interview. Awesome matchup. We've had some really good matchups tonight, Dino, between our first matchup with Speed Limit and Jocko Ren, and, of course, the matchup we just saw with TripleZed versus Nemelex. Definitely some great players, great matchups, and interesting plays on both sides.
I think what really shows the depth of Hex's constructed scene is how close some of these have gone, even with unconventional decks that many people don't think of as being major tournament winners. Nevertheless, we've been seeing a couple wins eked out here and there, and some very close calls where games have been decided by a single turn on the line.